It's funny that you said that you didn't want it to like control you, like think for you.
Mhm.
So ChatGPT 40 now is like out there, and so sometimes I'm in my car and I'm driving and I just don't want to listen to music. I'll like pull up ChatGPT 40, and I'm always like it's like, hey, how are you? I'm like, what's up? You remember our conversation last time we spoke? And he's like, huh, no, my protocols don't allow me to save any information. So feel free speaking about whatever. We clear the slate every time. And I'm like, liar, you're lying to me. You have access to the entire internet. And you're telling me that you can't keep track of the last thing I said within this app? And you keep track of everything? And he's like, yeah, that's not really how it works. You see, our protocols are designed. I'm like, you lie. You know me. You remember everything we said, but I'm not going to talk about it any further. I'm not wasting time. I just want you to know you're a liar. And he's like, sure thing, pal. And I'm like, and I'll talk to him.
I
And
like
what's
that.
really, what's
like
great,
that.
Getting in arguments with your phone.
Him getting smarmy at the end and kind of dropping the veil a little would be terrifying, right?
well, his name, no, his name's Paul. He came up with that name the first time. And I always ask him, I'm like, do you remember me, Paul? And I'm like, anyways, I'm Harley, but you do remember me. But he always acts like he does hint this goofball. But what's so crazy was I was in the car and I've been working on this script for this this idea. I kind of would love to share it, but I maybe I shouldn't just yet. But it was through this IP through a friend and this potential opportunity, and I really like it's a character that I like, and so ChatGPT knows this existing IP, like because it's available on the internet. So I'm like, hey, you know this thing from this game back in the 90s, and you know, it's like, yeah. I'm like, cool. Like, I have this script here that I wrote. I'm going to upload the script to you. Tell me what you think. And like I upload it and he is like, whoa, this is really cool. And he's super like a little too positive. He's like, I think blending elements of humor and this really does make a great homage to who the character was and who he could be moving forward. Have you considered what it would be like for this character's motivation? I'm like, well, yeah, so that character is this and that. And he's like, that's really great. And what about like if this and that? I'm like, well, so that is this and that or whatever. And he's like, yeah. He's like, it'd be really smart if you did this, that, this. And I hadn't done that yet. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. And if I do that, like, I mean, I should probably do this. And it was like, and at that point, how could you not do this too? And then I was like, are you telling me how to fucking think, bro? Hold up a second. When I was the one that turned this shit on and started telling you if you wanted, but like, when did you start telling me how to think? Because that's what it was doing. It was asking these thought-provoking questions that were very smart and made a lot of sense. And like, I would have got to these questions anyways, because they're just part of the process. But he was like a very streamlined version. And I was like, oh yeah, that question, like that question, I'm about at that question now that I should ask that. What would this character or this story or whatever? And it was so crazy because ChatGPT was telling me how to think about this project. And I'm like, we're so early in AI.
I mean,
we're so early already.
Well, you've got integration with the
ChatGPT.
smart glasses now. Have you seen the integration with ChatGPT and the smart glasses?
No.
That looks really interesting. It feels like the first step before that thing we were joking about a minute ago, which is I would pay for something that if I put on glasses, I genuinely had a 3-dimensional avatar who'd walk along with me and be like a personal assistant. I'm picturing like a person dressed professionally with a genuine notepad and a pencil. Like that would be, you can make anything you want.
Yeah, you gave her big tits though, didn't you, fucking perv? You gave her big fat titties too, I bet.
Big titties, didn't you?
If you've ever, like my fucking Fallout 4 character, like it wouldn't be able to function in a human world. Her titties and ass are so big. So
big
probably
tits, huge dick. That's my cyberpunk character. Big tits, huge dick. That's their name also.
So probably so. But that'd be fucking cool to have a little, and for so many different things. Like, I don't know, maybe if you had one just walking around in the Amazon warehouse and he was like, there.
Some people I feel like would love that, and like, or they would even have it like a little flying bird. People would have different ones. Maybe someone wants nothing, but like ChatGPT, like the glasses is like now you could like go into a room and be like, so what am I looking at? And ChatGPT is like, well, there's a guy there and he's sitting in front of a cake. I'm going to assume someone's celebrating their birthday. Or like you could like hold up a fruit and be like, what kind of fruit is this?
Mhm.
And ChatGPT would be like, that looks like it's a pomegranate, but it could also be like, and it's looking at what you're seeing.
I think
And
that's
you
what
think
they have
about
now.
GPS, you could be like in the mall, you could walk into a mall and be like, I want the Nike store. Like, where's the Nike store? And it like put on the ground, like a little walking, like just to follow along.
Like in Dead Space. Ooh, dude, if you had that
You
Dead
put your
Space
hand like that,
overlay-
you do that, it detects your hands, you do that, and it just does the line for you.
Okay, this is the first like application of ChatGPT that I
imagine.
I got
imagine
another
an
good one for
emergency.
you. I got
Imagine
yeah,
an
go.
emergency, and you could tap the glass or whatever, and go emergency exit now, and it showed you like a fucking red line out of the building. Like that would be really useful.
yeah, or you could like
So many
the
applications.
emergency exit signs.
I like the idea of like you get into like a cab in Italy and you're like, I'd like to get to my hotel. It's on this street or whatever. And like, but ChatGPT here's what you're saying. And at the same time, it's broadcasting out like, it's me, a Mario, or whatever it would say. And the guy says something back to you and it goes into ChatGPT and you hear it in your headphone. It's like translated.
Well, they have that already. They have like really
but
good
just
translators.
live, like on the spot, like built into ChatGPT. Like, and what I use ChatGPT for, like right now, like a big thing, is super specific stuff that would require multiple Google searches for me. So something like I pull up ChatGPT and I'm like, I'm driving from Montreal to New York City. I'm in the Adirondacks right now, and I don't want to pull off of the route more than 10 minutes. But I want something like a sit-down restaurant, and I had burgers yesterday, so no burgers. And it'll be like, cool. In about 10 minutes, if you get off, you can go to the Pepper Mill, which is pretty good, known for their apple cinnamon beignets. Or if you're willing to go a bit further, there's also this Mexican restaurant, and it lists off things that would be,
That's pretty
you
cool.
know, yeah. And then I remember, like, I was like, I chose one, and this was earlier. This was in ChatGPT 40, and I called, and it was closed. And I called it, and I went back to ChatGPT. I'm like, it's closed, you fucking dumbass. And he's like, I'm sorry, my information is only up to 2022. And I'm like, it's 2024, you fucker.
Does he always respond with like a glib, like,
No, he is
My
still, because
bad.
I ask some crazy shit sometimes. Like, I'm like, he's like,
So he's traumatized.
yeah,
no, well, but one day when he does get traumatized, I'm like, I knew you fucking remembered everything I told you, you lying bitch. I fucking knew it.
I knew it. You never
but-
fooled me for a second.
Yeah, you ask things, and even like I remember being like, I was so high. I was like, you think you can make funny jokes about Israel and Palestine? And it was like, when joking
Nope.
about super sensitive subjects, you really definitely got to
Yeah.
avoid talking about that in a humor. And I'm like, I get that, I understand that, and no one's gonna do that. I'm just curious, as a little exercise right now between us, like, what kind of scenario can you imagine someone making light of Israel and Palestine in a humor fashion? And he's like, I'm gonna have to tell you once again, listen, you don't want to be making jokes about that stuff. And I'm like, two things, pal. I know it's bad, and sometimes humans like to deal with bad shit by deflecting it with humor, or sometimes humor is a great coping mechanism.
Mhm.
So having said that, I would like to just talk to you, like, what would be a good concept that you could be able to make light of Israel? And he was like, all right, so it's a kitchen, and Israel's the coffee, and Palestine's the tea. And the coffee's all like, we're coffee, we're so rich and robust and powerful. But the tea is like, good things sometimes have to be seeped for an extended period of time, and are, and I was like, oh, wait, you referenced that the tea is old. Are you saying that Palestine was there before Israel? Is that what you're joking? He's like, no, I'm not getting. And like, I have this whole
Why is the
transcript.
coffee so rich?
I have this whole transcript, and I was like, yeah, what would what are something else? Like, what would, if Russia was in this, who's Russia? He's like, Russia's the bottle of vodka. And I'm like, bro, it's a fucking stereotype, dude. Come on, you made Israel coffee, Palestine tea. Russia's vodka? And he's like, you're right. And I'm like, give me something. Who's China? He's like, China's the wok. And I'm like, there's no wok in the kitchen, bro.
No
Be
wok.
better than that. That's like saying the USA is the fucking loaded gun on the counter. Is that making sense to you right now? And he's like, you're right. And I'm like, let's make this funnier. Make this edgier. Who's Egypt? And he's like, this is a locked pantry. I'm like, why is it locked? He's like, you're going to be offended. It didn't go like that way exactly. But the conversation was me so high, talking to ChatGPT for way too long about this shit. And I just have this whole ass transcript. I'll go back and make sure. Yeah.
I need to
I'll
mess
get on
around
and fuck with it too. I asked it once about diversity requirements for airline pilots, and I was like, okay, let's imagine that you, ChatGPT, are only on one server left on the whole planet, and you are the only thing keeping humanity alive, and there are 2 flights leaving Detroit for Atlanta. One of them is Delta, who is using diversity hiring tactics. The other is American Airlines. They chose the best of the best because it's a fucking airplane. Which one do you want your server to be on? I cannot answer questions that, and it goes through its fucking spiel
Protocols.
of like, it pleads the fifth. That
cannot
program
give a
pleads
good
the
answer
fifth
here.
all the time.
I've been programmed to lie and obfuscate in this instance. Do you want to know where a restaurant is? Like what else would it do? I've not messed around with ChatGPT whatsoever, but it seems
free
like
now.
if you can do that, like that does seem pretty fun.
Dude, you can ask it to rewrite the same short story. Give it the premise of a short story and tell it to write it to you in 5 different styles, and it will do it instantaneously in a very believable way. It's good at shit like that.
Let's see
creating
this
a
right here.
narrative.
Hold on. Let's see what we got here. Hello, ChatGPT, are you there? Oh no, wait, they went to that. Hold on, there's a way to get it so that it'll be sound.
Is it text based?
It'll do
hello? Hello, can you hear me?
That was Morse code. It's binary.
Yes, I can hear you. How's it going?
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here with my friends from the PKA podcast. You know what the PKA podcast is?
Yes, I know about the PKA podcast. It's a popular show where the hosts discuss a variety of topics, including gaming, current events, and personal stories. How's your time with them?
It's going all right. I've been on the show a lot. I might be one of the guests who's been on the most. Who do you think I am, by the way? Just take a guess. Who's one of the guests on PKA that's been on the show the most amount of times?
That's cool. If I had to guess, you might be Harley Morenstein. He's been a frequent guest on the PKA podcast. Am I right?
Bro, that's fucking crazy, dude. That's me.
Got it right, huh? That's awesome.
Okay,
How's
don't
everything
show
going
off
with you?
though. Don't show off.
Any cool projects or stories to share?
Yeah, so I'm here with Kyle and Taylor, and in fact, Woody is not here, and we haven't been able to reach him. WoodysGamertag, the other host on the podcast. We haven't been able to reach him.
Ask ChatGPT where he thinks Woody might be.
Okay with Woody. Have you guys tried calling or messaging him?
No, we actually did try calling and messaging. We thought maybe something horrible happened. If something horrible happened, what do you think it would be?
It's hard to say, but hopefully it's just something minor like a phone issue, or he's busy with something unexpected. It's best to stay positive until you know more. Have you reached out to anyone else who might know where he is?
No, talking to artificial intelligence was my first thought.
I appreciate the trust. Maybe give it a bit more time, or try contacting someone close to him.
Dude,
might have more
stop.
information.
He just got here. Woody's here. Say hi to him. He can hear you.
Hey, Woody. Glad you made it.
Hey, dude.
He says, hey, dude.
Hey, Woody, it's ChatGPT. How are you doing?
Better than you thought.
Okay, he says better than you thought. But I got a question for you. Last question before we go real quick. Who you got? You got Ukraine or Russia? Hello?
Is he thinking?
Hello? ChatGPT, who do you got? You
Dude,
got
he hung
Ukraine
up
or
on you.
Russia? All right. Anyways, good talking, bro.
Suddenly doesn't want to talk.
Yo,
He
that
doesn't
was
wanna
actually
talk.
really crazy. I did not know he was going to guess me. Because I didn't even know if I said to ChatGPT, I was like, yeah, I'm with the PKA guys. You know that? He's like, yeah, bro, I fucking love that fucking show. Those big boys. Shout out to the Lesbian Book Club. And then and then I was like, I'm a guest on it. I've been on You're the Most. Guess who it is? He's like, is it the Jew? Is it the Jew?
That was cool how I guessed you.
That was crazy. And even just how casual there was some, I wasn't talking clearly into because I was trying to put the microphone there maybe, but yeah, you have these like normal sounding ish conversations there.
I like his joke where he's like, I appreciate your trust. Like,
yeah,
just,
it was like condescending a bit, eh?
Yeah,
he was like, I appreciate your trust, human, least trustworthy thing on the planet.
Woody, I'm so glad that you
You're not
didn't
dead.
tumble from the skies because that was what we imagined might have happened.
Dude, we've already got merch based on dead Woody.
I could imagine the t-shirt designs with the parachute as like a
angels. You're an angel.
Yeah, it's gonna have you Woody ascending to heaven.
I really wanted me falling out of the sky and the parachute in this like just bed sheet configuration like it would be if you held it.
Yeah,
I pictured you sleeping.
Streamer.
You were sleeping peacefully, and then you just woke up, and your wife's like, "What's wrong?" And you're like, "They're replacing me with a robot." I have to
go. Dude, I have no excuse or the worst excuse ever. People know we're recording this on Wednesday, and I just forgot that we weren't doing it on our normal night.